is a Monday evening. Welcome in, everyone. You are watching Weather Unfiltered. I'm Mike Bettis.
I'm Alex Wilson here with our expert, Dr. Rick Knabb. Might feel like fall today. Maybe we're thinking a little sweater action. Maybe we're thinking a hot coffee to go. It's not all bad ideas because some places, dare I say, you could swing it.
Well, you know how you feel after you've had a workout and then you get the shower and then you get the fresh, clean clothes on. The people around you are much happier because you don't stink anymore. The atmosphere feels like it took a shower, got a fresh clothes on, wearing
totally
deodorant for a change,
yeah.
you know, behind the front. In Florida, I would think they would say the weather still stinks.
Yeah, it's still pretty stanky down there. Well, the fall is when, we usually see the tropics heat up. A little bit of a lull right now, but heat kind of the opposite when we look at temperature through the first half of the week. We've got Fernand. This one's moving out. So outside of that, no dots in the Atlantic.
No, but that's what you call a head fake.
Yeah.
And you see what's happening in the Pacific side. That is foretelling that the Atlantic will probably ramp back up because the East Pack took a nap and it's getting active. We know what happened last time the East Pack got active. It wasn't far after that we had Aaron.
Yeah, so we'll get a little break for the next week or so, but then we'll talk about that forecast and what maybe the month of September could offer up, which we know becomes incredibly active.
September, we have a long, nasty history of hurricanes in September. It's buckle up for that month.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've also, had a history on this show of loving ourselves a shelf cloud. So let's take you to the beach in Florida on this show, and I have said some real zingers in the realm of stupid. So he was a clownfish. Sean's like, dude, Nemo was a clownfish. I'm like, I didn't know that. So angelfish, too. I mean, they're cool. Let's not leave them out. But Nemo, clownfish. All right. Late August storminess. We've got the Central Plains, Southern Plains, the Mid-South getting in on a stormier pattern here. Rainfall to come between now and Thursday. We've got a lot of 1 to 2 inch totals, some 2 to 3 inch amounts in the mix as well. Right now, we've got some of the rain. I don't know why I just buzzed right by that. We got some rain from Oklahoma City over to Little Rock. Oklahoma City, things winding down for you, whereas they're going to be, bumping up in coverage around the Little Rock metro area. So moving forward, you can expect that light to moderate rain. Also areas to the south of Oklahoma City. Now tomorrow morning, notice rain back in the OKC area, also northwestern parts of the state of Oklahoma, sections of North Texas, even northeastern New Mexico could see some moderate rain shower action. So those areas into Colorado, New Mexico, you've got the risk of flash flooding, but that corridor where we're going to see repeated rain chances, maybe even a few rumbles of thunder, but I think it's going to be more of that moderate rainfall, possibility of some flash flooding between now and tomorrow morning. Now Tuesday morning, again, starting off with rain for Oklahoma City, for Little Rock, south of the Memphis area. I think those suburbs into northern Mississippi have a little better chance. I think later day brings a little bit of a lull in the activity, but it doesn't last forever. By Wednesday morning, now we've got some more rain across central parts of Oklahoma. Then into the afternoon, we'll continue to watch for that. So jet stream diving south through the early part of the U.S., that's keeping that pathway open for sections of the southern Central Plains and also the Mid-South. And as these disturbances just come out of the Rockies one after another, kind of like a little gumball machine just rolling through, they're going to bring us shower and thunderstorm opportunities. You can see there's the first one. And so by late week, we still have upper disturbances that are helping to enhance the lift. That's what these disturbed areas will do. They'll get the lift going, and then we've got the moisture. We've got, some warming that helps to add to instability. And surface low pressure will also develop. That'll also provide more lift. But you notice the fronts, too. That focuses our moisture. Here's Wednesday morning. More rain showers, Kansas and Oklahoma. Wednesday afternoon into Thursday. A little drier, but Thursday morning. It's the morning commutes. I feel like, I'm curious if you asked folks, would you rather have a rainy morning commute or afternoon commute? I feel like, and you guys can tell me whether or not I'm right on X, but I feel like people would say afternoon, because in the morning when it's raining, all you want to do is stay in bed. You sleep in 10 extra minutes, then you're fighting traffic and it's kind of miserable. Yeah, it kind of stinks on your way home and you're not home fast, but at least then it's not making you super sleepy. Anyway, Mike, over to you.
I could buy that argument.
No.
I really could, no doubt about it. All right, let's take you off to Phoenix and show you what.
So let's go to Pittsburgh. Do you all have your Aaron Rodgers jerseys ready? Yes? Okay, good. I don't think anybody does. We look at the forecast for the next few days. Actually, like what we got to do, Western PA, you guys are Pitt fans too, but I feel like there's Penn State across the board. And if there's one way Pennsylvania people, they are still wearing their jersey, but you put the hoodie under it. It's such a Pennsylvania thing. So a couple mornings this week, we're going to do just that. Forecast lows well below our average. Average low this time of year would be in the lower 60s. We've got upper 40s coming your way Wednesday morning, and you're like, ooh, that's crisp. You look down, you actually see some goosebumps. 47 Saturday morning, still below average with our low temperatures into Sunday and Monday. But Pittsburgh, you are not alone. So if you're looking at that forecast with some envy and you're like, that's not fair. I want that too. Other areas will be getting it as well. Through Friday, look at all these record cool highs and potential record lows that we could be setting, not just for parts of the Ohio Valley, but getting out into sections of the Midwest. A lot of the Southeast in play for some chilly temps too. So this front, it's doing its thing. It's bringing that drier air, that cooler air. As Dr. Knabb said, we've kind of like rinsed out the atmosphere. Sky's really blue out there today and super duper comfortable. Now tomorrow morning, we've got lows in the lower 50s, Detroit, Chicago, Indianapolis, and Pittsburgh. How about lower 40s in International Falls, 47 in Marquette, 50 in Lexington, Kentucky. So when we look at those low temperatures, Springfield, Illinois, your forecast could set the record low or the record cold low temperature. 47. That's pretty chilly for this time of year. Remember, it's still late August. Paducah and Dayton, both in the lower 50s or upper 40s. I think Paducah, you set the record. In Dayton, you're going to likely tie it. Lexington, you're going to be close. 50 wouldn't quite break the record of 48, but it'll be in the realm of possibility. Same with St. Louis with a low of 54 early this week. All right, tomorrow, forecast highs. We see some yellows on the map, and we have not seen those for some time. How about 70s, mid and upper 70s? For Chicago, for Minneapolis, for Omaha, for St. Louis, for Lexington, Syracuse out there on the quad, going to be downright comfortable. And even New York, Raleigh, and Atlanta, low 80s for late August. Very comfortable. Tomorrow and through several days this week, we're going to keep those highs below average. Look at sections of the Mid-South and Southern Plains, 15 to 25 degrees below average.
My goodness. Yeah, definitely a taste of fall there.
Well, you're looking at on the left-hand side of the screen? Absolutely not. I'm a house cat.
Burning Man is just different. Mm-hmm. It just is. Mm-hmm. You know, I think in that case, maybe it became Running Man after people like run from the storm there. They got some pretty good rain there, too. And then
I like to think
it was dusty, then it flooded.
They're like go with the flow type people, so I don't think they were really thrown off.
They're very flowy. They may not even have
They may not have even known it was happening. Yeah, honestly, let's be real. Meanwhile, in Florida, we got summer storms on the country where we've got rain there as well. So scattered rain showers right now between Oklahoma City and Little Rock. Generally light to moderate rain. It's kind of the norm through the early to mid part of the week with rounds of rainfall likely. So this first batch continues off towards the east. We're not watching areas south of Oklahoma City overnight, but I think that area lifts north just in time for your morning drive. So OKC, 7 a.m. on Tuesday, that morning commute featuring some wet weather. And it does also bring the risk of flash flooding with the rain showers out there today through about now, and then with more rain coming into tomorrow morning. Could see some localized flash flooding between Oklahoma City and Tulsa, Fort Smith, and Little Rock. So be aware of that. Also looking at areas farther to the west, like Colorado, northeast New Mexico. That's where we're going to also start the day with rain showers. But Oklahoma City, 7 a.m. Again, that morning drive, getting up there for the school bus, not going to be easy. Tomorrow afternoon, better. So afternoon commute looks a little bit clearer than the morning drive. We do it again on Wednesday. Wednesday morning, we've got some scattered showers. I think less overall coverage than what we've got on Tuesday, but still some scattered rain. It's all thanks to this dip in the jet stream through the early part of the week. That's helping to draw disturbances down, and we've got moisture as well to work with. As these disturbances push out of the Rockies, they help to bring some lift to the area. And along these fronts, that's where moisture tends to congregate. So surface low pressure developing through late week. We've got more opportunities for rain. That's the bottom line. You're like, disturbances, low pressure. What does this all mean to me? That's what it means. Rainfall still to come between now and Thursday. A lot of 1 to 3 inch totals here for Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas. Nearby these fires, you want to stay indoors if possible. Obviously, that's the best idea. But if you are outdoors, N95 or P100 respirator. If you're driving, set the AC on, recirculate. That way it's not drawing in that smoky outside air. And pay attention to local advisories. If they tell you to evacuate, you got to go. California, 5-year average for acreage burned year to date, around 711,000 acres. Now, 2024, we were at 407,000 plus acres. And in 2025, we're a little bit below the mark. So we're running less or lower than we were this time yet last year, and definitely well lower than the 10-year average. Total acreage right now on fire, over 2.1 million acres. We've got just under 200 active U.S. fires. So these are the large fires, those that are greater than 100 acres. You can see Washington and Oregon, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, Utah, Nevada, California, Arizona, and western New Mexico, all dealing with a lot of fire coverage. And then the smoke emission from those fires, you can see that fire north of San Francisco in the Napa area throwing off the smoke. So again, you don't have to be in the area, obviously, where the fire is burning to get the smoke. You can see a lot of the Pacific Northwest. That smoke is more widespread. Now, with the rainfall to come, I think it's going to be helpful to some of the fires. Not all the areas that are currently dealing with fires are going to get rain, but at least some, especially interior parts of the West, the Intermountain West, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, northern Utah. These areas could be looking at some 1 to 2 inch totals here over the next 7 days.
All right, Alex.
Well, Dr. Nab, of course, with us here on the show. You're our hurricane expert. This is one that sticks out for you, like a lot of people. First landfall was in Florida, which, again, you know, some may not remember. What was that like?
Well, it was almost this very hour 20 years ago today, and my distinct memory from that is, you know how reinforced that building is, and all we could do was look out this little porthole window and we could see the flag in the parking lot. There were fatalities, and but we were dealing with the hurricane ourselves in our community while forecasting what strengthening we were expecting in the Gulf.
Let's talk about that. Once it came off the coast of Florida, things changed pretty dramatically.
Yeah, and one thing, I ended up putting out, I think, 3 full advisories that night because it was strengthening so rapidly, so unexpectedly. We did a full special advisory at 2 a.m., as I recall. Then we did the 5 a.m. advisory. These are the folks who are issuing the local forecasts and briefing emergency managers locally. They're the ones who are going to have to deal with this hurricane in the Gulf. And when I told them it had gone to Cat 5, that was, I'll never forget how quiet it was on the hotline. No reaction. No discussion for a few seconds. We all just had to kind of take it in because we knew that significant of a system in the middle of the Gulf, it was going to be bad for somewhere.
And that's
had to lead the effort to write the report for Hurricane Katrina, document the meteorological history and the impacts. And that involved going with Max Mayfield to Mississippi. And we got on the ground with some FEMA folks as well. And the sites are staggering, and when you see what 25, 28 feet of storm surge does, there were watermarks way up on what was left of buildings. There was no doubt.
pretty notable stuff. I mean,
I can't believe it's been 20 years. It feels like yesterday in some ways.
It does, I think, to a lot of people. And, you know, we hope we never see another, but I know we learned a lot from
That's gut wrenching.
Stay with us here on Weather Unfiltered. By the way, it is the last Monday of August. For some people, it doesn't necessarily feel like August
So
anymore.
next Monday is not going to be as bad of a Monday as usual because it'll be like the first Monday of fall.
Yeah,
but we're getting an early preview.
Yeah, we are thinking pumpkins. We are thinking sweaters. I got emails today about boots, so it's happening. It's happening.
Wait a minute. I don't want to
got those same emails.
I don't want no sweaters. No.
Not even one? No.
Well, yeah, one when it's like below 50.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, some people are going to go below 50 at night this week.
Oh, heck yeah. Look at this weekend or all the way into this weekend. We've got that taste of fall, and for some, it's going to be a full bite of fall with those really below average temperatures on the way.
A lot of folks are going to get chilly, especially in the morning.
Yeah.
Like minimum hoodie. For some of you, it might be something thicker.
It's going to be those days where you see a lot of people with the jacket arms tied around their waist because it's too warm in the day.
It's pretty nice, right?
All about the layering. But if you're at college football games this Saturday, man, it's going to feel. I always dreaded the early season ones because you're like, man, I'm going to sit here and be hot. Not necessarily this weekend.
Yeah, but if you're in the Southeast Conference, I mean, it's still going to be soupy.
Best wishes.
Yeah.
All right, we look at what's happening right now in the tropics. We've got Fernand, brief lull. You've said emphasis on the brief here for the Atlantic.
Yeah, because see what's happening in the Eastern Pacific right behind us there? That is what happened before we had the flurry, including Aaron. So I think this is a relatively brief lull in the Atlantic, and buckle up for September because I think all signs point to what is usually a busy month.
For sure.
All right, well, not a great finish to the weekend in I would argue sometimes rain on a Friday or weekend is like, oops, can't go out and mow the lawn. Oops, can't do, things I should do outside. I just have to sit here on the couch and relax. Hey, there's something. Now, when it's during the week, you don't get that luxury, right? Because you still have to go to work or get home from work or go to school, get home. So you still got to be out in the elements. This week, through the middle part of the week, or at least through Thursday, I should say, the middle part of the country gets in on some 1 to 3 inch totals. So Oklahoma and Kansas, Missouri into Arkansas, those are going to be these spots with a little bit more coverage of rain. And we've already seen that today with rain showers between Oklahoma City and Little Rock right now. Those continue to slide off towards the east. So Memphis, soon enough, you're going to get in on some of the wet weather, too. Now, for Oklahoma City, you're going to get a little bit of a reprieve briefly before the rain comes back, just in time for your morning drive. You're like, great. I couldn't do it while I was sleeping, but no, it's got to be out there when you're on the road. So 7, 8, 9, be prepared for rain showers there. Be prepared for rain in Little Rock, northern Mississippi as well. So Tuesday morning drive may be a little bit slow. And as I always say, I feel like Tuesdays, you're just more tired than Monday. So Tuesdays, thumbs down to Tuesdays, and Tuesday mornings with rain, not great either. Through tomorrow morning, we could see some flash flooding potential. Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Fort Smith, and Little Rock. These are all areas with a little higher chance of seeing some flash flooding. And by tomorrow, we still have the rain through late morning around Oklahoma City. I do think that most of these areas are getting a break for the afternoon and evening hours. So we will get some dry time, maybe even some breaks in the cloud cover before more rain comes back early on Wednesday around lunchtime. Places like Tulsa, eventually Fort Smith, seeing some of that wet weather. Dip in the jet stream, helping to bring these disturbances and keep these areas on the rainy side. Mike?
All right, Alex, thank you for that.
To Pittsburgh right now, where you've got a pattern that's not really changing, but I think a lot of people happy with it as we, get ready to really jump into the heart of all things fall, right? The month of September, football's back. We're all generally getting back to school now. And so you're like, well, is it going to cool off? It has, and it will stay cool. When we look at morning temperatures through the upcoming 7 days, we're staying in the low 50s and upper 40s for the most part. The one exception is Friday morning with mid 50s. That's still going to be comfortable. Now, average low this time of year is 61. So we're anywhere from 5 to 10 plus degrees below the mark moving through the week. And if you're like, well, that's not fair, I want Pittsburgh temperatures. A lot of you get them, too. So don't worry. That cool air, there's enough to go around for many areas. In fact, potential record lows and record cold high temperatures possible each and everywhere you see a blue dot. So that's in effect through Friday. I feel like we talk a lot more about red dots of late than blue dots, but this week, it's a blue dot week, and we love to see it. Tomorrow morning, lows in the 40s for Bismarck, International Falls, and Marquette, right at 50 in Detroit. So lower Michigan, cool and crisp. Same with Indianapolis. Chicago at 53, 54 in. I don't know what that sign said. I think it said like pink mammoth. I don't know what that is. I don't want it.
I would just say suboptimal conditions, say the least, right? Then they had some rain that came in, and there were some areas that flooded. So they got the worst of both worlds.
They did. I'll watch people's videos of it, and I'll sit at home in my climate-controlled environment. Well, he's Mike Bettis. I'm Alex Wilson. Dr. Nab in the house with us as well here on Weather Unfiltered. Want to take you to Live Oak, Florida, to the central U.S., where it's rain there making headlines. Now, Oklahoma City, you've dried out after some rain showers earlier. Seen a little more action towards Little Rock. And Memphis, you've got some rain showers rolling in. This is a repeated trend for the week. Between now and Thursday, some of these areas 1 to 2 inches. Some could see more than 2 inches of rain. 7 o'clock this evening, we've got some rain still around Oklahoma City. More, I think, to the south during the overnight. But watch what sets up tomorrow morning. You can see that band of light to moderate downpours working right through OKC. So tomorrow's morning drive, may not be the easiest. Little Rock, same for you. Memphis, I think the southern suburbs could see some of those slowdowns due to the rain as well. Now, through tomorrow morning, we've got the darker green representing areas with a little better chance of some flash flooding. Remember, it's been raining repeatedly in these spots, and with more coming tomorrow morning, we could see some just water problems, standing water on some roadways or those low spots. Now, Tuesday, during the day, morning soggy, afternoon I think does look better, but we're not done. We've got more opportunities for rain coming, especially into Wednesday morning. It's the mornings. I swear you're going to be like, come on, man. There's nothing worse than trying to get out of bed when there's like very little sunlight and the rain's falling. It's so calming. You're like, why can't this be Saturday? Unfortunately, it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And the reason is we've got this jet stream, this dip in the jet stream. This is going to help to provide those disturbances a pathway. So that setup that you looked at with the rain potential following that dip in the jet stream, there's the disturbances coming out of the Rockies, helping to provide lift and thus rain.
Weather Unfiltered rolls on, and for a lot of us, finally it's gotten cooler. We've waited a long time for this.
You know, some parts of the country have had brief breaks, like the southeast with that cloudiness in early August. It got chilly. Boston area cooled off behind the front in New England. But this is, I think, the most massive relief that so much of the country has gotten since the beginning of summer.
This is widespread. It gets you down into the southeast. We look at tomorrow, Thursday, Saturday. How many millions of people below average? Saturday, we get it all the way to the Gulf Coast.
Oh, we're going to love that.
And then in Florida, they're going, what front?
It's the spot, right? For real. We're talking more about the temperatures coming up. Welcome in, everyone. This is Weather Unfiltered. Mike Bettis, Alex Wilson, Dr. Rick Nev. We're also talking tropics.
Yeah, and when we talk about how rainy it's going to stay in Florida and how there could be a chance of development off the southeast coast, then the people in Florida go, oh, that front, the front that comes down here and won't go through here.
Yeah, it just sits and stays and brings us rain. Awesome. Rude. But again, Florida, you get everything else the rest of the year.
And you did that all July. We're used to it.
Yeah.
And now don't get used to this relative lull in the tropics that we might have over the next week. I am concerned about how active September could be.
You heard it here. Well, we start in Florida tonight. That's by the time all is said and done on Thursday, you guys could be looking at 2 to 3 plus inch totals. So areas along the Oklahoma-Arkansas state line wouldn't be out of the question to see more than 3 inches. It's going to be a persistent pattern of rain focused over some of the same areas. That's what we've seen out there today. Oklahoma City, you're getting a bit of a break now. Southern, eastern parts of the state still dealing with the rain. So is Little Rock area. So is western Tennessee out there into northeast New Mexico. There we've got a few thunderstorms, so those are bringing heavier downpours, and also you can see the severe warnings for the wind and the hail. I don't think we're going to be looking at much in the way of severe or heavy rain here in the short term for Oklahoma City and Little Rock, but you'll notice that moving into the overnight and tomorrow morning, we've got the moderate rainfall that comes back. Now, you could get some rumbles of thunder, Oklahoma City to Little Rock, some heavier downpours in there, too. Morning commute, not going to be the easiest one for you on Tuesday. And unfortunately, Wednesday will be the same. Tomorrow afternoon, though, you do get a break. So morning commute soggy, afternoon commute drier, and then we do it again on Wednesday. Now, through tomorrow morning, there is the risk of flash flooding. Areas to watch in the darker green. That's a little better chance of seeing flash flooding. You can see that back into sections of New Mexico and Colorado as well, where we've got some of the heavy rain and storms right now. Future radar. Tomorrow morning, again, showers. Tomorrow afternoon, less in the way of rain. So I think your Tuesday afternoon commute for an Oklahoma City, for a Little Rock, should be able to get home quickly. No problems, just fine, no complaints, right? I know the morning, it stinks when it's raining. You're like, God, I cannot get out of bed. And Wednesday morning, still could see some passing showers around places like Wichita, Oklahoma City, even down into sections of southwestern Arkansas. So dip in the jet stream, dive south. That's going to help to keep those disturbances rolling along it, and that's what's going to help to trigger those rain shower chances. Through the early part of the week, you can see our disturbances one by one. They just kind of exit down the ramp. That is the jet stream, and they'll enhance the lift, helping to keep us cloudy and showery through the second half of the week. Mike?
For sure, Alex. Thank you.
Meanwhile, in Pittsburgh, it is pretty much good news for you guys. We've all been wanting that cool, especially like Pittsburgh, pierogi town. You can't eat a sandwich with French fries on it when it's 98 degrees. You need cooler days to get out there. So that's exactly what we've got. 66 right now. Again, super comfortable to start the week. And the next few mornings, they are going to be on the cool, crisp fall-like side. Average low this time of year is around 61. We're going to be in the 50s, low 50s many days, some even upper 40s in there. Wednesday morning, we got 49, 47 on Saturday morning. So I need to sneeze really bad, but I think I might have just scared it away. Okay, we're good. Some of these days, we're going to be more than 10 degrees below average. 54, that's the warmest low you've got here over the week, and that's still more than 5 degrees below average. So cool, crisp, beautiful blue sky. You know, the fall-like days where the blue is really vibrant as opposed to like the milky, like whitish blue that we get during the summer months. None of that. We're dry. Tomorrow morning, we drop into the 40s for International Falls, for Marquette, for Bismarck, even Des Moines, 48 for you for a low. Right at 50 in Detroit, 51 Indianapolis, 53 for Chicago, 51 in Kansas City as well. So sections of the Midwest, the Plains, the Great Lakes, all looking really good, all looking really comfortable. Now, Springfield, you actually could set a record low tomorrow morning. Forecast is 47. The current record is 48. Paducah, also likely to set a record. I think we'll get very close in Dayton, maybe not quite there. Same for Lexington, same for St. Louis, all within a degree or two of your records. But there will be records that'll fall, both for cold, high temperatures and for record lows. Tomorrow, highs around 75 in Lexington, mid-70s also for Chicago and Omaha, upper 70s St. Louis, Minneapolis, low 70s in Syracuse, and then low 80s into the southeast, Raleigh and Atlanta. Super comfortable for your Tuesday. You're noticing the lack of humidity, or at least a definite downscaling, turn down of the humidity. 15 to 25 degrees below average. That's where we'll be tomorrow across parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas. Of course, the rain showers keeping us a little cooler. Outside of that, rest of the area, at least the eastern, two-thirds of the country, 5 to 10 degrees below average. Now, tomorrow night, look at this. 50s in Buffalo and Burlington and Charleston and St. Louis and Nashville. 40s in Columbus and Madison. This is where people use those summer sweaters that Molly and I were talking about. I didn't know summer sweaters, there would be a time for it, but this is where you're using it, up around the Great Lakes, that lower humidity lingering across the U.S. tomorrow night as the next Arctic front dives south. This is going to help to reinforce the cold for some, or cool for some, and offer it up to others. So now, by the weekend, look at this. Parts of the Gulf Coast, Florida, getting in on the below average temps too.
Really far north Florida.
Now I just got it all over the desk.
Thanks.
Well, I don't have a tissue. Just kidding. I did it in my elbow. I did it.
She didn't.
I didn't do it in my elbow.
It's everywhere now.
It caught me off guard. I was talking.
It is. Surprise.
Yeah.
That was impressive. We had some pretty good storms in Arizona. Finally, for a change of the monsoon's doing something.
Yeah, we got storms into New Mexico, parts of Colorado. Risk of flash flooding there, as is often the case with these. But that one just came with a little extra dust.
It did indeed. All right, we're going to talk more about that straight ahead, but also what's going on.
Pretty standard forecast there in parts of Florida. Parts of the... Well, nearly 1,400 people lost their lives during Hurricane Katrina, and 80% of New Orleans was flooded. Katrina was the costliest hurricane in United States history, and our hurricane expert, Dr. Rick Knabb, remembers the storm well because he was on the front lines.
Long, really long, like all summer long, but finally hints of cooler temperatures are on the way.
Yeah, we've got the sweaters coming out, or at least the hot coffee, and you don't feel like you're sweating the second you drink it in the morning.
Yeah, we don't get this kind of break this early every year, so to have this kind of cool down in August is a pretty nice change.
It is a nice treat.
September thing,
yeah, for sure. You usually wait till like, I don't know, like second, third, fourth week of football season.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen, though? We're going to have one last big hot spill.
Oh, there always is.
Say it, man!
There always is.
No! Well, yeah, we've got to prepare ourselves. It's like, it has been nice to like let the AC take a break, but it's like, don't worry, girl, you'll be calling me again in a month. Or 2 months.
The other thing about September that worries me is that after this relatively short break in Atlantic activity post-Aaron, could things ramp back up in that busiest month of the year?
Well, you know, things are quiet for now. We have Fernand out there. That's not going to be an issue. But you know, sometimes I feel like the atmosphere just resets for a little bit this time of year, and then it just comes
absolutely. That's a good way to put it. And the beginning of that reset is the activity that's blown back up in the East Pacific that took a nap for a while. But they take naps at different times. You know, you can only handle one kid acting up at one time.
Yeah. That's why I heard you should never have twins, because then they wake each other up. Right?
Well, that's a great analogy. Can you imagine if the East Pacific and the Atlantic we're sometimes really busy at the same time. Oh, I know. That's actually happened before, and it usually happens in September.
Yeah, you were exhausted at the Hurricane Center, and as a hurricane expert, well, we'll see what happens.
Enjoy the
Getting in on more wet weather this week. In fact, I think a lot of it's going to be focused here into the Mid-South, Southern Plains, so Oklahoma, Arkansas, a little bit of Missouri, parts of Kansas. The darker the green, the greater the rain totals. So that mid-range shade. Mid-range shade, 1 to 2 inches. We got 2 to 3 inch totals here across sections of Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, even around Wichita. So those spots between now and Thursday are going to be the big winners when it comes to rainfall. Oklahoma City, you've been dealing with rain today, getting a bit of a break now. Little Rock, you've got some scattered rain around. Same for the Memphis area. But Oklahoma City got a few hours with rain staying off to the south. Then things lift back north. So tomorrow morning, your morning drive features more wet weather, and I think some embedded downpours in there. The yellows indicative of some moderate rain that could really slow things down for you on the local roadways and the interstate. So be aware of that. It may be a tough morning to peel yourself out of bed. When you hear the sound of rain on the roof, there's like nothing better, right? You can't replicate that in any of those relaxation apps. When it's literally on your roof, you're like, this is amazing. Oklahoma City southward through tomorrow morning, possibility of flash flooding a little bit higher, but anybody in the light green could see localized flash flooding. Notice also watching spots into Colorado and New Mexico. Now, tomorrow morning into the afternoon, things take a bit of a break. So it's truly the morning commute that's going to be soggier than the afternoon drive, but we're going to do it again on Wednesday. More opportunities for rain come in on Wednesday through the morning into the early afternoon hours across a lot of the same states. So you can see it's a repeated pattern thanks to this dip in the jet stream that our disturbances are going to ride along. So those will focus the showers around those same areas over and over. That's why we've got those rain totals of 1 to 3+ inches by the end of the week. Now, there's the disturbances across the Rockies kind of lined up, and then each one ejects southward and provides the lift. So these disturbances bring us lift. We've got some frontal boundaries, a low pressure system, moisture will congregate there, and as that moist air rises, we get clouds, we get rain showers. So Wednesday afternoon, you can see yet another wave of rain coming. That'll linger into Thursday morning. So here we are, Thursday at 6 a.m. with a lot of the same areas getting in on morning rain, even some rumbles of thunder through the afternoon. Still a better chance. So I think Thursday could be an overall soggier day, say, than Wednesday, which just brings mostly morning scattered rain. Mike?
Alex, thanks for that. Also had some pretty good storms.
When we take you to the other side of the country, let's go to Pittsburgh. Beautiful evening out there. Cool, crisp, comfortable, 62 degrees. The lights are on. The bridge is all nicely lit up, I'm sure, as well. Morning temps tomorrow may have you reaching for at least sleeves. Maybe not like, your heaviest sweatshirt, but at least sleeves. Tuesday morning dropping to 52, 49 early Wednesday. Back to the low to mid 50s Thursday and early Friday. 47 by Saturday morning. Low 50s again Sunday and Monday. By the way, average lows this time of year are in the low 60s. So we're anywhere from 5 to 10+ degrees below the mark in the Pittsburgh area. And if you're thinking, well, that's not fair, I want what Pittsburgh has. A lot of folks, especially across the eastern part of the country, gonna get it. Central parts of the U.S. as well. So we've got the cool to go around. We show you the departures. Some areas could be like 15, 20+ degrees below average. And that could also lead to record lows, and also record cool to high temperatures possible at each and every one of these blue dots. So we could be setting records with our cool down. And we don't just have this first front, but a second one that'll really reinforce that cool air for us. Tomorrow, low to mid 40s for International Falls, Marquette, Bismarck, upper 40s in Des Moines. That's your start temperature. 53 in Chicago, 50 in Detroit, 51 in Indianapolis, even 49 in Lexington, Kentucky. So, areas south of the Ohio River could get into the 40s tomorrow. Nice, cool, crisp start to the day. Springfield, Illinois, 47 would set a record for you. The current record is 48, so forecast to be just below that. Paducah, 50, also sets a record. I think Dayton could tie at 48. Lexington, you're going to be awfully close. St. Louis, you're going to be awfully close. Both of those expected to be within a degree of record. So definitely in play to tie a record. And then highs tomorrow, 70s for many. And I always say, like, no one complains about 70s. I mean, there's somebody who's going to complain about it online, but that's just what people do. But I would say 99.99999% of people say, 70s are pretty good. 71 in Syracuse, 74 Chicago, 75 Lexington, 76 Omaha, 77 for Minneapolis, and for St. Louis. Cooler 70 in Oklahoma City. Now that comes at the cost of the cloud cover and the rain showers. That's going to keep us 15 to 25 degrees below average. But across a lot of the country where it will be dry, you'll see that clear blue sky, that nice crisp bright blue. And then tomorrow night dropping into the 40s and 50s once again, even 50s as far south as North Georgia.
I'll tolerate that if I get sunny and 70s in the daytime. Yeah.
We got you.
Dr. Nabney.
You know, because visibility can go from just fine to they're almost like snow squalls, essentially.
Literally zero.
Yeah, you're seeing nothing. So real dangerous scene right now in parts of Arizona.
You know, we haven't been used to so far this summer. You know, monsoon has produced nothing.
Yeah, it's been very quiet
And so
out there.
getting a thunderstorm like this, all of a sudden, you're like, oh, hold on, that is what the monsoon does.
Yeah, and we've got some severe warnings out there as well. Risk of flash flooding. Days of rain across sections of the southern plains, the mid-south as well. It's followed on the heels of what brought us a decent bit of wet weather for our Monday in Oklahoma City. Little Rock, you're still getting rain. Memphis area still getting rain. Rain showers along the Mississippi. It's generally light rain. Have been some embedded moderate downpours in there. Now, Oklahoma City, you'll continue to get your break through the overnight. But just in time for tomorrow morning, the commute. Look what happens. We get that area, that axis of rain shifting right back over the metro. Could get some downpours in there, a few rumbles of thunder, steady, at least light rain, light to moderate. But again, at times you may see those rainfall rates pick up. So give yourself a little extra time to get to work tomorrow. Same for like Little Rock down into northern sections of the state of Minnesota. Oh, it's Monday. Mississippi, Minnesota. That way. Through tomorrow morning, we've got the possibility of flash flooding, a little higher likelihood where you see the deeper shade of green. So Texas, Oklahoma, into the state of Arkansas. And this would include the south side of Oklahoma City down towards like a Fort Smith. So be aware of that. Now, again, tomorrow morning commute is on the soggy side. Afternoon, I actually think will dry out nicely. So I don't think you're going to be looking at as much wet weather. We'll keep the clouds. And by the way, the clouds, the rain showers, going to keep those temperatures on the cool side. We're going to be 15 plus degrees below average tomorrow into Wednesday. So you can expect those highs into the 60s here. It's not like the clear blue sky and 60s that other parts of the country are getting, but cooler. You get the AC a break, but you are going to be using the umbrellas, the windshield wipers, all of that good stuff. Wednesday morning, another quick passing round of rain. I don't think this one's going to bring us the coverage that we've seen earlier in the week or that we'll also see on Thursday. I think Thursday offers up a little bit more in the way of rain coverage. Courtesy of the jet stream, that's providing the route. So that's the pathway that our areas of disturbances or our disturbances are following, and those are bringing us the better chances for rain. So as these disturbances roll along the jet stream, we're going to be looking at them enhancing lift, bringing the rain and thunderstorms.